shot that I spoke about in my previous video. I went and bought the supplies that I needed. I'll show you here real quick. Instead of buying the lamp cords like that one that's hanging there, which you could do and it would work just fine, I encountered a small problem locating enough of them without traveling all over the city trying to find them and maybe not being able to find them. So I went to the local big box store. So I went to Home Depot and I got me, this is some 14.2 lamp cord, which this was a remnant that they had on their remnant rack, which I would highly suggest checking out Foist. I got 50 feet of that at, I can't remember what they charged me for it. It was pretty cheap. And then I went back and I got another 50 feet of it because I wasn't going to have enough. I kind of miscalculated how much I would need. Anyway, yeah, I haven't got all the mail time items put away yet. And again, thank you everybody. I already had these staples, which these are actually too big. You can't get them down on the lamp cord real tight, but they're working. And then I bought 12, I'm going to put up 12 lights, and I got 12 of these. It's just a lamp socket with molded in wire nuts, which I have wire nuts over there, but I got a couple packages, which won't be enough. And then I got a bunch of 100-watt Philips LED bulbs. What else? And I also got these plug connectors. I've got this side pretty much done. I have 4 lights hanging and they are, what are they? They're about 8 feet apart. And they hang down 2 feet from the ceiling. In the middle, that center section there is that beam going across the top. That's 15 feet high. And I'm going to drop the lights down 4 feet and do the same spacing as I've got over here. And then the same thing over there, with the exception, I've got one hanging right there. It's just hanging out of the outlet. I may have to lift it up to go above the door, but I'd like one there for when the door's shut. So I may give that a little bit more thought and figure that out as I go. I'm gonna do this side over here next, and then I'm gonna do up here. I don't really have an easy way to get up here. That ladder isn't going to work. And so I'm gonna be a little bit adventurous, and I'm gonna put that ladder on top of that cart, and then I should be able to reach up there. Quite possibly not the safest thing in the world to do, but I don't have any other choice right now. The only other thing that I have is I do have an extension ladder that would easily reach up there. But number one, it's awkward as hell to move around inside this shop. And two, I did fall off of that thing. When I was building this shop, I had it propped up against that beam right there because that light bulb burned out. That light bulb is connected to a box way over in that side of the barn. And I had it working when I was doing the shop, had the ladder propped up against that, and somehow that thing came down. It was so I couldn't quite get the legs of it very high up on that beam, and while I was clear up at the top, it decided to come down, and that was a heck of a ride. So, I don't know, be a heck of a ride off the top of this here cart in a ladder tube. I'm gonna give it a try and see what happens. So far, pretty happy with how it's turning out. It's giving off more light than it did before. Let me shut this door. That's with the door shut. I'll shut the lights off real quick, and it's pretty dark in here. I think already with just these 4 lights, I have about as much light in here as I had before with all these fluorescents going. And you can tell the difference. Well, I've got that one over there, but with those 2 lights, well, and I've got that LED bulb going there. Those 2 lights over here compared to those 4 over here, I think it's gonna work pretty darn good. So while this is not a how-to, I thought I would just show you real quick how I'm making these. I'm gonna make one for that far light over there, which I need a 6-foot cord for. And like I said, this is just 14-2 lamp cord. So for a 6-foot cord, I measured out on my table here, and right over the center of that screw is 6 foot, and it's not incredibly crucial. So I started off over here, measure over the center of that screw, mark it with my thumb, and look for my snippers. Where'd my cutters go? Found them. You cut it off. Then you take your utility knife and you can cut right between those two wires. And I cut down just about an inch. Slice it, and then you can pry them apart just a little bit, like so. And I'm doing this to put one of these here plugs on. These plugs have a screw in them that hold them together, so you take that out, and then they open up. I loosen these screws up because they're kind of stuck where they are. Just wiggle them a little bit and they'll move. Then you take your two ends, strip back the installation, twist the wires together. Not the two wires together, all the strands of each wire together. This one I have a little bit long. Where's my snippers again? So I'm going to trim that off. Figure out which wire needs to go where, curve it in the direction you're turning the screw, put it around the threaded part of the screw, hold that in place and tighten the screw down. Tighten it up good and do the other side. So I thought I would show you real quick just what the inside of that looks like. And I am no electrician, and I'm sure the way that I'm doing this is not up to code, but I live out in the middle of nowhere, and this is my place and how I'm doing it. So once you got the wires in there, there's a couple little grooves that wires fit down into. Stick them down in there, close it together, put this screw back in it to hold it closed, and tighten it up. And that's all there is to that. You now have your plug on. For the other end, the same thing as you did before. Cut right down between your two wires. Pull them apart just far enough that you can work with them to get wire nuts on these and that bulb socket. Why won't these pull apart? Like so. Strip back an inch or so of insulation, maybe a little more. You'll figure out how much you need. So then, take a couple of wire nuts, line the end of those two wires up, and screw your wire nut on. Then as you see, this wouldn't hang very straight, although it might straighten out eventually. But I take these wires, bend them down a little bit, put them right up in the middle of those wire nuts, and then I tape it all together. Like so. And then you can manipulate these wires a little bit, and you can get it to hang pretty straight. It doesn't have to hang perfectly straight, and it will probably straighten itself out as time goes on. So then to put this up over here first, I need to unplug this here light and take this fluorescent light down, which that's good enough for now. It's just hanging on a hook. Now that you have that done, just bring your cord up. I plug it in, foist, and then you hang it up with these here staples. And now I have to move the ladder so I can get it up. Bring it over this way and screw in a light bulb, and there you go. One more in place. So I gotta put one, well, that one there. There's gonna be one right over here, one down there, and then one over on this end. And then the same thing down the middle, which that's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up. I'm not gonna show all of this on camera, and hopefully I don't fall and break my neck or my back or whatever. It is a pretty nice day in central Iowa. I'm not sure where the Moxie dog went. But pretty nice day. There's a few clouds off in the distance. A little bit breezy. It was pretty cool this morning, but mostly blue skies. It's going to be about 70 degrees today, and looking at the weather, this may be the last 70-degree day we have. I think next Friday is supposed to be about 70. Other than that, I'm gonna start cooling off. Winter's coming. Well, I did manage to get my extension ladder in here, which is probably a little safer than a ladder on top of this. And I got one light hung up in the center. I'm putting another one right, well, about right where the ladder is, and then another one at that end, and then another one down here somewhere, somehow. I'm not sure. I got this side all done. And there is a light up above the door there. And it has several inches between the bulb and the door, which the bulb itself does not get hot, being an LED. There it is. I think once I get 3 more in here, and I may even add a couple more, it's going to be pretty bright. Still have that one in the corner going. Yeah, I'm not sure how good the camera is actually showing it, but I think it's going to turn out quite well. And we have success. I didn't fall off the ladder and break my neck or anything. However, I did get all the lights up, and there's still a little light in here because of that clock light thing. But here we are with all the lights. And I think it's spectacular. I still think I'm going to hang some more, possibly over here. I know I want to hang some kind of like that one is over there. I want to hang at least 3, maybe 4 above the workbench there. And I have a couple ideas on some other things as well. And then out here, I'm going to replace, these are 150 watt incandescent bulbs, and I think I am going to get some 150 watt LEDs, maybe just 100 watt LEDs. And then I'm also going to probably put a couple more just out here so it lights this area up. Because occasionally I do work on things out here, and it would be nice to have some additional light. So going back into the shop, walk in here, turn the lights on, boom. Not only does it light it up in here, I think it looks kind of cool. So as far as the energy consumption goes with these lights, the old fluorescent lights had 2 40 watt bulbs in them, and there's 6 of them. So that was, I think, 480 watts. And then with these LEDs, they're 14 watts each. There's 12 of them. I think 168 watts. So 480 versus 168, quite a difference. Now as far as these fluorescent lights go, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. I do have some spare bulbs over here, but now I just don't hardly even want to use them anymore. I could hang them out there, or maybe I'll put them on a switch and hang them around in here somewhere. I don't know. If anybody has any ideas, put it down below, because I really don't know what to do with the darn things. And just thought I would mention again on the license plate wall that we've got started. If you watched the mail time, you saw that I got, where are they? Ohio, Illinois, Texas, and Arkansas, but would still like to get a lot more. Or if there's anything else you want to send in, send it in. That is going to conclude this video. Please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.